That's a tough question. I mean, EZRA was a young woman trying to find her way in life. She was dependent on different people to help her find her way. She was very dependent on Jason Mingle. And ultimately, she made a horrible, horrible decision and killed Alex Woodworth.
You go there thinking that now she...
Yeah, the next time that I spoke with EZRA, it was at Mayo Health System here in Eau Claire. And that meeting was trying to figure out what happened to her and trying to figure out where Alex Woodworth was, as that was the last person she was known to be with. She initially told us that she didn't remember what happened. She could fill in some blanks about being with Alex and then leaving his house. Then she just didn't remember what took place during the incident, but could recall going to a farmer's house and then the care that she received afterwards. Blood all over. We got close enough to confirm that Alex had passed, and then we backed out. And at that point, we contacted Dunn County and turned the case over to them. We talked, she gave us a story, and then as we started confronting her with the facts that we had located Alex in her vehicle, everything evolved. I don't know. There's so many different ways it could have happened. I wouldn't even want to speculate. There really wasn't anything that jumped out at us that said this is why she went out there. I think part of it was they wanted to get away and talk. Jason had found them. They were talking. The cops were called there, so they wanted to get away. And so from there, her when she was brought in had noticed it. So during my second interview of her, we got to talking about what took place, and she described to me how that Alex was driving and she was in the front passenger seat, and he pulled the knife out of the center console, I believe, and grabbed her arm and carved the word boy into her arm. At that point, I asked if I could see it, and she showed it to me. When I looked at it, I noticed right away that the way the word was written, it was written as if she wrote it herself. Just if someone was in the driver's seat and reached over and carved it, the letter B would be down by their wrist. In this case, the letter B was up by her elbow area and the Y was down by her wrist. So it just looked as if she did it with her own hand. And once we pointed that out, she admitted that she was the one that wrote the word boy. The prosecution team stated it was to get back with Jason. Jason was who she wanted to be with, but at this time, Jason didn't want anything else to do with her. He was sick of the lies that she was telling him, and she just didn't trust him. And Alex was one of those people that stood in her way to get back with Jason. Maybe this was the only way she could get him back, is to get Alex totally out of the picture. Was a great guy. He was a person that was willing to help anybody with anything. He wouldn't hurt anybody, wouldn't hurt a fly. If someone needed help, they went to Alex, and Alex was there to help him. Evidence was huge in this case. That spoke leaps and bounds over almost anything else. I think also the fact, the interview I had on EZRA, the fact that she admitted that she stabbed him and where she stabbed him and in what order she stabbed him. I mean, when looking back at it and you go through the places that she stabbed him, the first few stab wounds all were in places that would eventually kill him. Her words were huge. I mean, how she said everything took place, how the stab wounds took place, and the areas that she said he was stabbed all matched up, or most of them did anyways. And then how she said the crime scene was laid out. And we had from the Wisconsin State Crime Lab, we had great crime scene technicians that came up and processed the scene and were able to help us put the puzzle together. She was up there testifying. I felt she was well coached. Her answers were very scripted, it seemed. And yeah, I looked over at the jury, and and they were paying attention, they were taking notes, and they were listening. They did what a good jury should do, take everything into consideration, and ultimately come up with a conviction or not a conviction.